Hey, have you ever felt like you could build a better looking aquarium, a better nano aquarium? Well, I believe in you, and today I'm going to show you how I'm trying to improve my own methods for building planted nano tanks. So, over the course of this year, we have assembled several beautiful nano aquariums here, the Halloween pond in a jar, and a few others. We've tested new ideas, and some of which were very successful. So I want to build upon that today. I want to test out some other ideas. So we're going to use this rectangular jar as a demo tank, and we're going to build a new planted nano aquarium. Now, I was thinking about using a plant pot as a lid to get some plants growing up out of the jar like this, but I don't think that we really need to do that. So instead, we'll take that lid and set it to the side. But I am going to use one of our new lights. We are getting these little lights for about $5 a piece, and they are perfect for nano aquariums. Today, I want to see if we can't use them in a new way, and you'll see what I mean shortly. So the substrate in this tank is stone-based. I'm not going to use any aqua soil or anything like that. The stone is cheap and it's effective. My goal is to form substrate in time within the tank, much like this aquarium here. So this is one of my much older hair grass nurseries, and we're going to take some of this stuff and use it in our new build. My idea is to make a flat wall of hair grass and use that as a backdrop in the tank. And then I want to shine the light right onto these plants. It should look amazing. These plants are all rooted together, and we do have some dirt, some substrate that's coming in with them. And that's okay, it won't hurt anything. We might even get some fun microfauna in that soil. So most times I'm using spike rush that is growing up out of the aquariums, and I think that might be a mistake. So this time we're using spike rush taken directly from underwater, and that should be better. We're going to tuck everything back into that nursery, and we'll put it away until we need more in the future, which I'm sure we will. And here we go. So we're going to add some fresh, clean water to this tank. This water is taken directly from an aquifer. You could use something like spring water or maybe rainwater if you don't have a better option. And since there's no soil in here, I'm not going to be careful about dumping the water into the container. I'm just trying to fill it up. And there we go. Yeah, it's going to be a little cloudy at first, but things will settle very quickly. Now for our light, I want to mount it on the outside of the tank and shoot the sun ray down into the tank. And we'll develop this idea a little bit more. For now, I'm using a rubber band to hold it in place to help us get a feel for the idea. And now we're going to add bladder snails. This is my crazy pond aquarium. It is 10 gallons. It's a bizarre tank. You've never seen it before. It is orange or brown, and it was designed for a mosquito fish. I'll tell you more about that in the future. But I started this tank with 3 snails from the mutagen pond population, and those 3 snails have gone to breed, and they've created some inbred mutant offspring. So yeah, we have one guy here with a forked antenna or a forked tentacle, and I think that's really cool. It could be caused by a few things, but it could be a genetic quirk. Just a fun little trait, little thing that can happen. Hopefully, that's what we have here, and we'll have some other mutants in the future as well. These guys are inbred, and they are the descendants of mutants. Yeah. Now, shooting the light into the tank like this does work, but my mounting system with this rubber band is flawed, so we'll have to come up with something that's a bit more reliable. Still, I'm hopeful. So we are going to add some fish food, some goldfish flakes here, and I'm going to overfeed the tank a little bit, and that's because I want to kickstart the biological processes in here. I need things to begin to break down. Our snails will assist in that process. They'll start to eat these fish flakes and break them down and turn that into waste, which bacteria can then consume. and turn into fun things that our plants can use to grow. It's a fun a system or a cycle, if you will. And so our bladder snails are devouring those fish flakes right away. That's a great sign. I love their faces. They remind me of some kind of little elephant or puppy or something. Yeah. If they were much larger, people would love them. And really, I think that bladder snails get mistreated. They tell you it's a pest, and that's all it takes, and you hate them. And that's so unfair because these little snails are amazing. They're beautiful, they're fun, they're harmless. You can raise 200 of them in a 10-gallon tank, and yeah, if half of them die, if something crazy happens, you can just breed up a whole nother army. It's a lot of fun. But yes, I am overfeeding the tank because I want to trigger decay. I know it sounds crazy, but I want things to decay in the tank to kickstart certain biological processes with our bacteria. And this will actually help the spike rush. It'll help that plant there, which is a wild type of hairgrass. These lights are not exactly designed to grow plants. And, the spike rush can handle dim lighting and marginal conditions, but it does that through environmental compensation by taking more from the environment, essentially. It turns out that spike rush has evolved to make use of certain habitats that other plants could not handle. And we're back 3 days later. I never did finish that thought. I was trying to explain that the spike rush is designed to survive where other plants cannot. In dark conditions, in non-ideal conditions, that's where you're going to find spike rush, and that's where it's going to thrive. So it makes sense that it works so well in our nanotanks. And I should mention, you guys, that all of the snails in this project, they're all white. They are all white or gray. And in fact, all the snails from that weird pond aquarium, they are all white or gray. And I think that's just something that kind of happened within their population. I didn't mean for that to happen, but I'm hoping to continue that here. And the snails are doing some weird things. You guys have never quite seen this behavior before, so you can tell me about that. The tank looks great, and the idea of shooting the light from the front into the back, I think, is a good idea. I think that's something that we're going to stick with. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy with this build. And I'm happy with these snails as well. They're a bit weird, you guys. They are heavily inbred, and they were already exposed to mutagenic compounds that have damaged their ancestors' DNA. So there's no telling what might happen with this snail population. I'm hopeful that one day we'll get some kind of crazy genetic quirk that will stick to the population. We need a germline mutation. And I'm sure we'll get that soon if we haven't already. This white coloration may in fact be a mutation. I know that bladder snails can be white or orange or blue or purple. And we've seen the dark, dark midnight black bladder snails as well. And we still have them in another tank. So I've made a modification to the rig here. I've taken a piece of wire and made a little ring, and that now holds the light. It is semi-adjustable. It's a much better version of the rubber band. And I think that's what we're going to use moving forward. It's not fancy, it's not store-bought, but neither am I, This whole tank was assembled for about 10 bucks, and that's not bad. So I do want to feed the aquarium, but I don't have any cucumbers right now. All I have is a red, delicious apple. These snails have never seen an apple before. I'm going to use one of my spikes to hold it down in the bottom of the tank. But yes, these snails have never seen an apple. They will most likely ignore it and go for the fish flakes that they've been fed since that tank was put together. So yeah, they're used to fish flakes. They're not used to apples. And I'll most likely have to pull the apple out of here in a few hours. But my idea is to let some of those sugars and things break down, let the snails smell that in the water, and convince them that their tank is just full of food. Oh my God, there's so much food. Let's breed. That's how a bladder snail thinks. Oh my God, there's no food. I better not lay any eggs because we'll all starve to death, you know? But in this case, I want to trick them and I want them to breed. These guys have adapted very, very well to the still, calm waters of this tank. And that's a surprise because they came from an aquarium that had a significant water flow. A 10-gallon tank with a 70-gallon hang-on back. You can imagine the type of water current that they had to live with. And it seems like they may be enjoying the still waters of this aquarium. I never thought about that. And now we're going to add a foam lid here. A foam lid, oh my God. A screen lid. My standard screen mesh lids that you've seen me work with a few times. I did think about using a plant pot on this tank, and that's originally why I wanted to mount the light on the outside. But, you know, this tank does not have an air line. There's no air pump. So instead, I think that we will rely on natural gas exchange. And for that to work, we need to have an open lid, basically. And there we go. We've built a beautiful aquarium for like 10 bucks. Very functional nano aquarium, good for bladder snails. The plants in here are doing quite well. And I think that we have succeeded. Yes. Now you have seen some of these other tanks in the background as we did this video. If you enjoy them, if you would like to learn more about them, every tank that you see here has a build video. It has a few updates, all sorts of stuff here on the channel. I try to make sure that you guys are kept up to date on what's going on, what tanks are thriving, and, you know, fun stuff that's happening. When I walk into the fish room, I try to bring you with me, and I try my best. So my microphone did have a critical failure on this video. I hope that I don't sound too bad on this audio. You know, one thing that I really love, you guys, is when you walk in and you look at your jars and you see your snails just cruising, just having a good time, and everything looks good, everything's clear and clean, and all of your little animals are thriving. It makes me happy. And that's like a strong source of joy in my life, you know? Just seeing these little guys, our little mutants, living their lives, it's a good thing. Now you will see that every bladder snail in here has at least one ostracod that is hitching a ride. That's okay for right now. The ostracods are in their peaceful scavenger mode right now. They won't hurt anything. But once their population begins to grow, once they get a few too many in number, they will begin stressing out the bladder snails and killing them, including our awesome forked tentacle buddy here. So we will have to find a way to control the ostracod population in this jar while still overfeeding the bladder snails. It's a complex question. I could try to remove all of the ostracods, but I really don't want to because I love them. So it's a tough thing to do. Well, I hope you guys liked the video. We will have to wait until next Sunday to see if they were really interested in that apple chunk. And yeah, we'll do some other things as well. So thank you for watching if you made it this far. My name is Terry. This is Bucket Ponds. Big thank you to my YouTube members. You guys are the heart of the channel. And I'm just so grateful for your support and for everyone who's part of the Bucket Pond family.